Greetings, I'm John Setzler. Welcome back to the Kamado Joe cooking channel. Today, Hemingway and I are going to put together a Dutch oven smoked chili. So let's get started. First thing we're going to do is fire up the Kamado Joe Classic. I've got one Kamado Joe fire starter cube right here in the middle of our pile of lump charcoal. So I'm going to light this guy up and we're going to let it burn for 10 minutes with the lid open. I've placed my divide and conquer flexible cooking system rack in with the accessory rack here on the lower level. I've put a few chunks of apple wood around the center of the fire, and I'm going to put one right there on top. And then we're going to put our heat deflectors, our half moon heat deflectors, right on the accessory rack, and then set our grill grates on the top level right above that. And we're going to set up here to cook at about 200, somewhere between 200 and 250 degrees. To get set up for 2 to 250, I'm going to close my bottom vent. I'm going to leave it open about an inch or so. And on the top vent, I'm going to close the top slider fully and leave the daisy wheel 2/3 of the way open, and we're going to let this slowly come up to temperature while we go get our meat ready. Okay, I've got a 2.5 pound chuck roast here that I've put in the freezer for a little while, and we're going to cube this guy up into about 1-inch cubes. And I'm going to season this beef fairly liberally with some of the Kamado Joe smoky paprika seasoning. You can use whatever barbecue rub you like on this, but this smoky paprika is really good, so I'm going to give it a nice liberal coating of that, and then I'm going to toss it up and we're going to give it a little bit more, and then we're going to take it out to the grill and we're going to put this in the smoke for about an hour to an hour and a half. Our Kamado Joe Classic's about up to temp here. We're cooking around 225 or so. I'm just going to set this pan chuck roast right here in the middle of the grill, and we're going to let this sit in the smoke at this temperature for somewhere between 60 to 90 minutes. Okay, we're just about finished adding smoke to our meat, so I'm heating up my Dutch oven on the stove, and I'm going to add just a couple of tablespoons here of olive oil, and then we're going to toss in 2 chopped onions and 1 chopped red bell pepper, and we're going to sweat these down for about 5 to 7 minutes. We're going to add 1 tablespoon of dried cumin and 1/4 cup of whatever your favorite chili powder blend is, along with 6 cloves of chopped garlic, and we're going to saute this for another minute or two. Okay, that's been sauteed, so what I like to do right here is add a little bit of, just a splash of the good stuff. We're going to add maybe, I don't know, 1/4 cup of whiskey and stir that in real good and let this simmer here for about a minute, and we're going to stir this constantly while that's simmering. Okay, I've backed my heat down to low, and we're going to add 1 28-ounce can of diced tomatoes, 1 28-ounce can of tomato sauce, and everybody who's anybody knows this wouldn't be chili without 2 15-ounce can of drained dark red kidney beans. So we're going to mix this all in and let this sit here for a few minutes while we go get our meat off the grill. My cut up chuck roast here has been smoking in this pan for about 90 minutes, so I'm going to take it off. We're going to take it inside, and we're going to drain the fat off of that, and then we're going to dump that in our chili. Okay, I've got the fat drained off the chili meat, so we're just going to dump that in there. We're going to stir this around and get that meat completely mixed in, and then we're going to take this back out to the grill. Okay, we're ready to put this back to the grill, so what we're going to do is set our Dutch oven right in the middle of the grill. I'm going to set it on here uncovered, And we are going to let this cook for an hour or so. And while we're doing that, I'm going to let the temperature on the Joe ramp up to about somewhere between 275 and 300. So I'm going to open my vents up just a little bit more. And during this hour, about halfway through, I'm going to come back and give this chili a stir. Okay, I've got my temp up to about 275 in the grill, and this chili's starting to simmer in here. We're going to give it another stir, and at this point, I'm going to start adding a little bit of salt, and I'll check this periodically, and we want to get it salted to taste during this simmer. And at this point, I'm also going to squeeze in just a little bit of honey to help with the acidity in this chili. I'm going to start here with about, I don't know, 2 tablespoons of honey. That ought to be more than enough, actually. And we'll just stir that in, and I'm going to continue to let this simmer for another half hour or 45 minutes uncovered. Okay, we've been going for about another 30 minutes, 45 minutes here, maybe a little longer. I'm going to stir this up just a little bit more. I'm going to add another pinch of salt to this. I'm tasting it as we go. And now we're going to put the cover on this and let it simmer for another hour. I believe our chili's about ready here. We're going to take off the lid here and have a look. Oh man, that smells outstanding. I'm going to take this off and we're going to set it aside. We're going to let it cool for a little bit, and then we're going to serve up some of this and have a taste test. Okay, I've dipped out a nice healthy bowl of this chili, and we're going to top that guy off with a little bit of shredded cheddar and some green onions. And man, we're going to have a taste of this. It smells fantastic. I wish you could smell this. Okay folks, this chili has a beautiful smoky flavor to it, or smoky aroma. We haven't tasted it yet, but it just smells fantastic. I'm going to get a little piece here with mainly just a piece of that chuck. That meat is melting your mouth tender, has a beautiful flavor. The chili itself is delicious. This is a perfect cool weather dish, something that's easy to put together, easy to cook, doesn't take a lot of work. Just give this guy a try. Join us on Facebook, facebook.com/Kamado Joe, and leave us a comment on the video. Let us know what you think. Until next time, this is John Setzler with Kamado Joe Cooking Channel.